several of us developed skills I that we needed to have in order to take care of each other. I had my husband and I were very good friends with a gentleman named Max Van Gilder. He was a pediatrician that knew the farm, knew the collective, and was very supportive. And he taught me how to suture. It was extremely useful, although a little bit hair raising, some of the things that I took on as a young practitioner, suturing up somebody's hand that was severely lacerated. Fortunately, he taught me well and the hand healed well, but I don't know whether
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't have to worry about a chicken or a pig. Yeah, like we think of the stuff we practice on, and you got to practice on real life hands and real life situations. Yeah.
yeah. But he also taught us, taught me the ability to auscultate lungs so that I really knew when I heard a bronchitis, when I heard a pneumonia, and somebody was just fine, because so much of primary care, I'm sure you know, are the worried well.
Yeah.
And how do you differentiate between someone that is the worried well, the worried well that is psychiatrically unwell,
The mental
the
aspect
worried
versus the physical.
sick
Yeah.
person that's really sicker than crap, and that you really better get them the care that they need.
Well, and it's an art because a lot of times the test will be normal range, and maybe they have something really unique, or like that intuition and trusting their body. It's more like the machine knows better than you do, and I think that's the art of midwifery, is really being able to see and hear and listen. Okay, is this that path
and
of
listen and listen and listen, because sometimes what you're doing is you're intersecting uh, somebody's somebody's sickness process at one stage when they really are almost well. But if you bear with them and you listen to them, you're going to be able to intervene when they're not really that well. And you really better get them antibiotics, and maybe you need to get them to the hospital, and maybe you need to make sure that they have a secure network around them. So another role that the midwives played in Tennessee, in the Bronx Center, is they tended to be mentors for families, because not everybody comes to the table with the same degree of emotional well-being. And there were situations where we would have families just melting down with anger, perhaps potential violence, and you would need to intervene to make sure everybody stayed healthy and well.
Yeah.
That is actually much harder.
Well, and I think nowadays that skill is not taught nearly as much, or the understanding of how to support that way. And we need it more than ever. I feel like we're in that challenging where the trauma, the mental disparities are more and more, and less people have those skills to help with those needs.
And somebody can be presenting with what looks like a purely physical complaint, but it's actually where they're looking for a way to segue into care and a safe place to talk about the things nobody really wants to talk about, like the domestic violence, like the emotional violence, and those are parts of our lives. I think that it's a trick to make sure you're not taking on more than you can chew, or biting off more than you can chew, I guess is the way you should say it. There are times where you're presented with serious crises within families. On the one hand, you don't want to shut the door and deny access. On the other hand, you may need to skillfully guide them to where they're going to be able to get the kind of very careful care that they need.